We are talking about the 2018 action movie, The Punished. This one is directed, written, produced, edited by Renee, who has done a whole bunch of kind of low-budget horror and action movies. Now, on the surface of this, you might look at this and think, oh, it's kind of like a Punisher clone. But it's actually more like another movie. What movie, you might ask? Well, that will be Adam Sandler's Grown Ups. You're thinking, what? What am I talking about? Okay, so Adam Sandler's Grown Ups, there's actually two of those films, were basically Adam Sandler going on kind of a holiday with a bunch of his friends and essentially making a film about it and kind of just like having a kind of a loose plot in it. And that is what this movie is. Let me explain. So there's no actual plot in this film. It basically, you have this kind of like Austrian hitman played by a guy called Robert Amstler, who actually did the voice for Arnold Schwarzenegger in South Park, and he is kind of like playing him like he's from Terminator 2. He's basically got the kind of the mannerisms, the kind of the stoic face. He even has a few of the kind of the same sort of lines, and there's certainly some winks to the kind of the Terminator. But he's basically a hitman, for lack of a better word, and he basically has a crisis of conscience. Finds this little girl who is played by Renee Perez's daughter, and then basically takes her on a bunch of adventures, so different theme parks and water attractions. In the meantime, you have this small little back B storyline where he's killing a bunch of people for reasons. I'm not kidding you. This movie is just an excuse to have lots of kind of like fun activities for the little girl to do, and then kind of make a film around it to basically pay for it. That is basically what it is. I am not kidding you. The majority of the running time of this film is just this little girl doing like water parks, boat rides, all sorts of stuff. That is the majority of the running time. And then there are a few action scenes kind of sprinkled in that really have no bearing on that plot at all. Nothing to do with it. It just so happens that this character, Wolfgang, is a hitman, and he's basically been kind of tasked to track down some criminals who killed this woman's grandson. But that actually is the B plot. The majority of plot here is Wolfgang, this little girl played by Leah Perez, and this kind of like tour guide played by Nicole Stark, who was also in the Renee Perez movie The Dead and the Damned 3. Yeah, but doing a bunch of fun stuff. That is it. That is the movie. So there you go. That is your plot. So it is the most bizarre action film you'll ever see, because there's very little action. There's two action set pieces really, and they are really so discombobulated with the actual rest of the plot. It's just bizarre. And I actually think, I'll go so far as to say this, not only I think the director here has just made a film to ultimately pay for a family holiday, but I actually think all the things that that you see them do, he's got basically them to kind of like, here's the phone number on the side of the boat of this company where you can do this, because you kind of see the kind of the product placement almost of this kind of like water jet company's boat strategically there, so you can kind of see the name of it and stuff like that. So I actually think it's basically, he's just got a bunch of kind of different fun things, like there's a theme park, and it's all in Redding, California, called Beaverland or something like that, Turtle Land. And here it's Turtle Land, and we're going to go and have some fun now. It is weird. So, yeah. And Renee Perez, a guy whose films is very prolific, does a lot of films. I actually quite like him, a lot of them. But this film, man, this is going to be... Don't go into this expecting you can see like a Punisher movie, because you really aren't. Is there stuff that you can like, I can say positive about this film? Renee Perez, for all this movie's faults, he does have a good eye for cinematography. Some of his shots look really good, and he's the way he moves the camera and stuff, he has definitely got a natural knack for for cinematography. The actual guy, Robert Amstler, is not a good actor. He is not a good actor. He is, in fact, quite a poor actor. But you can't help but kind of enjoy his Arnold Schwarzenegger, specifically from Terminator 2 impression. And it's very much just like, I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny to look. He's so so bland, so wooden. It's so funny just to watch him kind of do this. It's kind of like a comedy. Then we get to our action set pieces, and they're the most dull action set pieces you have ever seen. Now, I quite like Renee Perez's movies. Like I said, some of his action set pieces have been quite good. But this is just two people seemingly shooting guns that they never seem to hit from about like 20 feet away from each other and emptying their clips multiple times and never seeming to hit anyone. It is poor. Poorly staged action sequences. So, and like I've said, the action stuff is a B plot at best. What a bizarre movie, and it also has this weird. It actually goes into some political tirades as well. It actually tries to be have a few political statements in there as well. What a weird film! What a weird film! You know, it's just a bizarre. I would say this: you've never seen an action movie like this before. You know, it's true. Maybe not in a good way, but it's true. Wow. Really don't know what to say about this one. Let me say this, okay? I was enthralled with this movie because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought they've actually made this as a film when it's basically an excuse to have this girl go on holiday and have a bunch of kind of advertising from different kind of like tourist attractions. Jesus, you know, the gall. The gall. So yes, there you go. Don't be expecting a Punisher, a Punisher movie or rip-off or whatever you want to call it, because it ain't that. It ain't that. It's bizarre, but I couldn't take my eyes off it. This is one of those things where you see have the saying, like, oh, it's a car crash, but you can't help looking at it. It's like that. And I'm sure some people will kind of want to watch this out pure curiosity, but don't be expecting don't be expecting a story, because there isn't one. I mean, they even tell it like a fairy tale. There's this kind of like narration that kind of goes over it that makes it kind of sound like this kind of fairy tale for no particular reason. You know, it doesn't make sense. Weird. So, realistically, I cannot recommend this movie, but it's just bizarre. Just bizarre enough that I would say it is probably, I won't give it too much of a negative review because it's just so bizarre. So 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. So below average film, but man, it's just, I can't believe what I was watching. So I've got to hear other people's opinions on this one. Hilarious. Hilarious. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to you next time. Bye for now.